yeah. Who is the immigrant? If we are living in the same land, sharing the same sun. Who is the immigrant?
And now we welcome to Impact Talks for that American perspective on this very interesting topic is Miss Sandra Izsadore. She's a singer, composer, known as the mother of Afrobeat and the muse who met and transformed Africa's revolutionary music genius Fela Kuti, instilling in him the spirit of black consciousness and the importance of addressing social and political topics directly, hence the birth of what became known as Afrobeat. Sandra has been featured in the Tony Award Broadway musical Fela, portrayed by Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, Seiko Senblog, and Paulette Ivory. She also has been featured in 2 documentaries, one entitled Beware of Mr. Baker, and a documentary from Academy Award winner director Alex Gibney entitled Finding Fela. Artist and activist at heart, Sandra continues to record music and fight for world peace, justice, and equality for all, both abroad and here in her native Los Angeles. Welcome to the show, Mama, mother of Afrobeat, Sandra Izsadore.
Thank you, Pamela, for having me.
I know you listened to that conversation, and I know you can't wait to get to it. So, first of all, let's tell our listeners about yourself, your time in Africa, and how it impacted you, especially in this realm of marriage.
Well, the marriage part of it was first introduced to me by Fela.
Okay.
So it had a very male perspective. Mm-hmm. And I learned of polygamy.
Yeah.
And actually, I really didn't have a problem with polygamy, but it's not for everyone. And polygamy is not for me. But for those that it's for,
yes,
I have no problem. If the sisters can,
yes,
if they know how to get along together, then more power to them.
Yes.
But I would say I'm just a greedy, selfish woman, so I don't like sharing. Mm-hmm. Certain things I choose to share and certain things I choose not to share.
Did you get the impression, or do you have the impression that African women don't mind polygamy, or do you think there are some women who like it?
Well, I would say, the fruit does not fall far from the tree. Mm-hmm. And this, if you were born into an environment where this is acceptable, yes, and this is what you know, mm-hmm, then it's no problem for you.
Correct.
But if you're born in an environment where this is not the norm,
yes, then
it would be difficult for you. Mm-hmm. And as for me, I did try in the relationship with Fela, mm-hmm, and her name is Seiko Senblog, the girl that played me.
Okay.
Yeah, she, mm-hmm, was the sultry Sandra. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it depends on, I would say, your environment, culture. That has a lot to do with it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What about the dynamics of, in situations where polygamy was not an issue, what about the dynamics other than that polygamy aspect, the gender roles, compared to what you might have observed with some of us out here? What do you think?
Well, I really, when I was in Calcutta, inside of Calcutta, mm-hmm, interacting with the wives,
yes,
I really loved the sisterhood. Okay, but at the time that I was interacting with the wives, Fela was not the mainstay in my life.
Okay.
It was them and him. Mm-hmm. And they seem to deal very well with the dynamics. And, when I think about just in the home as a woman,
yes,
they collectively did the work together. These women were happy. Then there were those that were not so happy. So it wasn't just always kumbaya.
I bet you.
There was some fighting going on in the house. So don't make you think, that it's all sweet and, yes, dandy. No, that jealousy is still there.
Yeah, it's human.
And, that was in Africa, but I've also seen it here in America, mm-hmm, where a man has multiple wives.
That's true. We tend to forget that.
And I happen to know quite a few American artists that, very successful men, mm-hmm, and they have, a litany of women.
Yes.
And a lot of these American monogamous born women have accepted the, yes, polygamy thing.
Yeah.
but a little differently. And I mean, these are professional women. I'm talking about doctors, lawyers that were,
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm glad you brought that point, because polygamy is not only a thing in Africa. Because what about the fact of men who are able to keep mistresses, yet emotionally, isn't that the same thing?
It's the exact same thing. And here's the thing. What a man, as taught to me by Fela, a man can have as many wives as he can afford to keep.
Yes.
So I don't have a problem with that. If the woman does not have a problem with it,
You
then,
shouldn't.
because see, I know how I would have to be kept.
Yes. Right.
I need my own palace.
That's right.
At least 3,500 square feet.
That's
okay?
the queen.
I need that, and I need my jacuzzi. I need my swimming pool.
All right.
I need my car. And if I need a chauffeur to take me, I need my chauffeur. I need my housekeeper. I need my cooks.
Everything.
If you can supply all those things for me and you need another wife, I don't have a problem with
All
that.
right. Now, that's a progressive woman right there.
Oh, and don't forget my bank account.
Now, let's talk about something else. We can't have you here and not make a reference to your influence and impact on Fela. He described you, he said, for the first time, I heard things I'd never heard before about Africa. Sandra was my advisor. Very powerful. How did you become such an influence on this African genius? And you're called the muse. How did you muse him on?
Well, it was just being real.
Right.
And being truthful. See, I was reared in a religious home, and I was taught that truth will set you free. In other words, if you didn't lie, you didn't get spanked.
Right.
But if you told a lie, you were in trouble.
Get something.
So I didn't like pain. So I was going to always tell the truth. The other thing too is growing up in an American home, I was under Christianity.
Yeah.
I was always taught about the 10 Commandments, the 7 deadly sins, and how you should be kind to your neighbor. I was taught all those positive things. So
let me ask you, I guess the question really was, how did you have that? What kind of impact did you have on him? How did you do that and change his mindset?
Well, see, when you bring all of your childhood rearing to the table, then when you have the influence of learning from the Panther Party about the inequality here in America, and you have Malcolm X, and you hear the stories of your parents, and then growing up in an all-white neighborhood, I was able to take all of that and seeing the television, and I started processing, and I was saying, what I'm seeing, it doesn't make sense. This isn't adding up.
Yes.
So I went in search of our story. And I knew that I had to go to Africa because these people look like me.
Right.
So that's how it started.
That's just awesome. We'll just have to bring you back on the next edition of Impact. Thank you so much. Do you think, I guess my question would be, what do you think makes a successful marriage in one sentence?
Ooh.
One sentence only.
Communication.
Thank you. From the words of someone with time in marriage and who's been around the whole world and observed. Thank you so much for inspiring us today. Mother of Afrobeat, Miss Sandra Izsadore. This is Impact with Pamela and Anchang. We've come to the end of our show, Impact. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, TIMTV, Voice of Immigrants in America. See you next time on Impact.